Hey everybody, how's it? Aloha, good morning. Wow, a few more days left down to my #1 year anniversary post, a super post, I'd like to call it. If you're a Tool fan, I think you're going to be very excited. That's why I've been holding back from doing any Tool on this countdown. Number 3 to me is a very special band, Periphery. Why is it so special is because I think it encompasses everything I wish I could have accomplished maybe in combining metal, melody, musicianship, and composition. And what I mean by that is that I've heard so many bands on this journey and that have so many great qualities. I don't think I've heard one crap band. There's not one crap, like something that I've not been able to be totally just over the moon about. It could be vocals, it could be something, the drums, the bass, the arrangement, the whole body of work. But Periphery for me was like, before I heard, I think it was Reptile or something like that, was like, God, can it work? Is there a way to make, you know, metal and this combination of power and sound and hybrid orchestrating and melody and stuff? And when I first heard Periphery, I think it was almost, 8 months back or something. I think I've done about 4 or 5 of their songs now. I was, have a seat, man, because here we go. And so it's got a really super special place for me on this channel. Maybe one day I'll go and light up what are my top 5s, but Periphery is definitely one of them. That being said, number 3, and that's not number 3 because they came in any order. I was just trying to save my more powerful, impactful tracks over the last couple days here. This one is called Jetpack Was Yes, suggested to me. And I want to thank everybody who, I want to thank everybody who suggested more Periphery and stuff, and hanging out throughout the whole year in the journey. I even had Mishore, is it Mishore? Is that how you pronounce his name? He actually commented on my Reptile reaction, which I thought was great too. I didn't know that anything I had to say would ever impact any one of these musicians or artists or groups that I talk about, but it was a very nice comment. Anyhow, gosh, man, I try to say to myself, okay, shut up, do a short intro, get right to it. It doesn't seem to work, does it? All right, guys, this is Periphery. Jetpack Was Yes. You guys already know. Blah, blah, blah. I don't get any money if there's any ads running. If you want to support me in the channel, cup of coffee, or maybe drift over to my Patreon, and if you want a little something for your money, that could be the spot. All right, guys, let's do this. Jetpack Was Yes by Periphery. All right.
These walls of time release. My eyes move like the drift of fires. They resonate within every sense before me. Break ties between
All right. Obviously, this is 4 minutes long, and I just almost half the song is gone. Okay, so like I said earlier, this kind of groundbreaking production. This is the first time of Periphery that I heard that where of the 4 songs or 3 songs that I'd already done, where the power of the guitars and stuff isn't really throttled up into your face in the mix. The subtle use of that power is just as impactful for me, because then now I can hear the complexity of some of the layers in the background. To open up with that really cool, I guess it could be guitar that's being played, those long notes in that picking pattern, let's say it is. It could be a key as well. But the fact that they use these super fast percussive loops in the back, I don't know, there's a name for that kind of style of percussive loops. It's not D&B or something, or something, but because they opened up with that already, they caught me off guard, because just like I had mentioned earlier, the total opposite when you have a Reptile, I think it was, with those beautiful orchestrated opening. This here, and also may not be a very super popular track as far as maybe the top tracks on Spotify or something. It sounded like it started like it was a part 2 of something. So if that's the case, I apologize for that. Just clicking on, a lot of people want this, so I wanted to do it. Something else that I just realized I did not mention about was matching the vocal power to the ability and the power of the song has got to be such a monumental task. And to have such great compositions and arrangements and musicianship and engineering and everything, and then having that vocal there is such an important, thing that sometimes doesn't get glammed on hard enough because of the intense musicianship. The melody and the melody on this is fantastic. I think this sounds a little bit more of maybe a contemporary song that maybe had more. Is there such a thing as radio anymore? I don't know, but more radio play, because they were in the hook within the minute. As a matter of fact, we're into not even into the second minute, and they've cycled through the hook, And of course, the sounds of their guitar and bass and stuff. And like I said, the other stuff that I've heard, gosh knows there's a hell of a discography I really still have to go through. That really power up the power of that of their guitar and and everything. But in this case, it's a little more subdued, at least to this point. I got another 2.5 minutes to listen to it. But the final thing I want to say, and I'm going to shut up for the rest of this song, is once again the engineering. The engineering is it's so masterful. If there's such a thing as overly perfect, sometimes there is, where you feel that it's so perfect it almost feels inhuman and stuff like that. But in the case of where you have these rich compositions and arrangements, utilizing whether, it's live drums or loops or a little keyboard work, in unison with guitar and stuff, and of course the bass. I don't know if this is that gentleman, Nolly, I don't know if they've changed. That's another thing. Sometimes I've learned is that you have different bands that have been around for a while, but they change parts. So I might say something like the bass player, wow, he's so-and-so, and all of a sudden I get smoked in the comments. Dude, no, he left back then, this was this guy. So anyhow, I'm just going to shut up for the rest of the song, as you guys are probably very excited about. I'm going to get going. But let me move back a little bit, and here we go. see, it's that right there. Oh boy, I have a funny feeling this was the middle of the sandwich of some other music. And if it is, I apologize. But hearing that how it faded out, that's what I was talking about. I was like, all right, these guys are brilliant at hybriding sounds. Could it be a guitar that has a MIDI signal that does something else, or is it, just a keyboard part there? I don't know. The vocal arrangements and the harmonies and also the dynamics of that crystal crushing voice of his, yet the darkness and the heaviness. I would love to be a fly on the wall in the process on that, to see who's coming up with that. Is it the vocalist? Is it the combination of everybody sitting down saying we should do this, we should do that? If there's like a lead composer. Because those arrangements are also, in of itself, extremely bold and intense. I'm still a little kind of about this, and I'm not in a bad way. It's like I'm trying to process. I loved the solo, the intervals between the notes in the solo. It wasn't one of your standard, as fast, 30 seconds with taps and stuff. That was just, a lot of incredible, technique and everything. And I love the fact that everything about this song was very wide open and very potent. Very sonically potent. It's the first time I ever used that word in, I think, one of my reactions. But everything about it was very potent, every arrangement. And then when we did get into that riff, what a great sounding riff. But those sounds of the guitars and the bass, here in my little studio, I could never achieve that. Well, plus it's not really in my purview to be that kind of a composer and stuff. And I think that makes it even more exciting for me to listen to this, is that it really is new to me, and that's part of this journey that I've been on for a year. I'm boxed in as a composer. I do the kind of work that I do. I'm always saying yes to people who need things done. Yeah, you want it this way? Great, no problem. Paycheck, thank you very much. Maybe some royalties. I get to borrow wax out of it. But to be able to really freely express composition, I don't get a lot of opportunities to do, or I'm too burnt out to do it after doing a shit ton of work for, when I get hired. The last thing I want to do is turn on the studio and write something for me. And I think I don't want to use, envy is not a good word, but I really, I guess this process is something that, wow, like I feel good about it. I won't ever really do it, even though my little stuff that I'm doing now that I got my 7-string, and I am trying to have some fun. I don't think I could ever be really original because I've been so influenced by a lot of bands, such as Periphery. Plus, I don't have the musicianship skill set. But I think there's a good part of that. Now I get to be just that guy that can sit there and really just listen to it and glam on it. So, all right, thank you so much for putting up with this long rant. A couple more days and I'm done. It might be a few weeks depending on my surgery. I might not come back and do reactions for, about a month and a half. I don't know, it depends. I'll still do stuff on the channel, but as far as setting up cameras and doing reactions and editing and stuff like that, I don't know if I'll have the wherewithal to do that. But I'm not going to disappear. Don't worry about it. If you're still here, that means you're at least still enjoying what I'm doing and yapping about. You should type in on the comments, I'm still here. All right, guys, thank you so much for everything, your support. Periphery, you guys, if you do see this video, it has been an absolute pleasure listening to your music, man. It's just very uplifting for this old composer. You just know that music's in super good hands with bands like Periphery, but also a bunch of other ones out there too. But anyhow, guys, you take care. Have a killer day. Aloha. All right.